what to do.
The Rumble House? Did you share it to Rumble House? Or is it shared to?
Look, cool, those places.
Okay. Sorry for
Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. Okay. Welcome and thank you for making the journey today. Was it a good journey?
You look pretty. You said I could have your coffee.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah. I put it.
But when?
You can grab it anytime. It's in the kitchen. I put it over there. Sorry. I'm going to start with the land acknowledgement. The Creator gifted us with this land that we are blessed to share and care for together. We acknowledge that the land we gather on Mohkinstsis is the ancestral territory of the Siksika, Sitapi, the Siksika, the Gaina, the Piikani, and the Amskapi Piikani. We acknowledge all First Nations and Métis of Treaty 7 lands, the Sutena, the Ithkapi, which includes Bearspaw, Chiniki, and Goodstoney. We commit to advancing reconciliation guided by truth, respecting treaty laws, and humbly walking alongside First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. We recognize all who live, work, play, and make art on these lands and who now call this place home. We're so grateful to have this time together to make art and to be together.
Oh, tonight is such a big night. It's our 20th Isle of Roux. It is the season finale of Lost Heroettes. We got mail. You got mail. And what else is there?
It's all pretty big stuff.
Oh yeah, and I made a collection of Theo's stuff.
Oh, and I'm here. Yay!
And Felix is here. Felix, would you like to open the envelope? Just move your hands around like you're. There we go. Yeah. Do you know where this came from?
No, there's no return address.
Oh. So inside here, the
it
first
did have
thing,
a note on the bottom that said something.
Danger, danger, danger.
It said looked like it was important and thought you might want it.
So here's a the outside of a book.
Oh, what's on the inside of the book? Did you read that?
Yeah. Oh.
Fun. Were you talking to someone about?
Okay, now I understand why the outside of the book. There's an outside of a lady store book here.
To keep it safe.
Yeah. Now this is an interesting thing. There's a hole punched in it. What kind of psychopath would punch a hole in it? I'm just kidding. But does it say whose it is?
No. Do you recognize that text writing?
Well, somebody watches the Isle of Roux.
And someone who knew you from high school.
Is there any chance that did I sell one of these at the Rumble House?
I think you might have.
I don't know why I would.
When you sold your superhero painting.
I don't think so. This is called, the comic company is called Bloody Stupid Anarchists, BSA Comics. This is Chuck the Superhero. It's a fairly in-depth story. Look at it, he's got white hair.
I'm gonna bring Felix, I have Chuck the Superhero in my room. Is it okay if I bring it in?
It's not school appropriate.
I will not. Look at that. That's a cool scene.
Yeah. I was 16 when I made this. I sold about 100 copies.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Look, they trip over the alarm.
Classic.
Here's the alarm. Actually, this is funny. You see this hole punch here?
Yeah.
Did somebody tell me they were going to send me a copy of this?
I kind of vaguely think, like maybe it was one of your friends, but
I'm a little wounded they didn't want to keep it. I'm just kidding.
It's so funny because everyone's so
I used
kind.
a hole puncher to do these letters and these letters.
They want you to have it because of the archivist situation, but
probably they're like, I've read this. So here's a story I talk about all the time. I talked about it today about how previous to the internet, because I made this before the internet, you would have like a collection of Jeeps and stuff, so that when you needed to drive Jeep, like specifically the reason the girls in this comic book drive a Jeep is because I knew how to draw one. So I made a comic book called Chuck the Superhero. Basically a guy breaking out of like industrial government prison to go to the beach. Ooh. Boomity bimity ridey tatty tat. I do wonder. Look, it took years for Tony to get us. So these were two friends of mine. It's Rich, Andy, and Tony. And I used their real names and personas, unlike Richard Linklater. Early Soul Patch. That was, I think I made this before after you're born, but maybe before you were out of diapers.
If you were 16, I was.
Rattity tattity tat. Too.
He's doing.
That's
Doing
sunset.
math.
What do you think, Felix?
I really like that sunset. That's actually a very Theo sunset.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I don't know. It's all about. Oh, look at this, Felix. I forgot to tell you. Guess what Chuck the Superhero's weapons were?
Throwing knives?
Throwing knives. He had the superpower of being able to formulate metal and create shapes. And so he basically had infinite possibilities with metal. Whatever. He's basically a Green Lantern of.
Did the metal have to be in his hand?
Oh, here's Zach. Did the metal have to be in his hand?
No, he'd like form.
Hi.
He would like pull molecules together and form the metal.
But did he have to see where he was forming them together?
What?
Did he have to see?
No, he could just stick his hand out and imagine molecules coming together, and like something metal would form in his hand.
So what if he imagined molecules coming together inside of someone's brain?
He could do that. I think it would sort of land in his hand, right? Like he made this chainmail suit for his friend Tony, who was because Tony's not impervious to harm, so he made this suit. It's kind of like a suit of armor. That's Tony's suit of armor made out of like super thin chainmail. Chuck had a healing factor. Dude, I was not a good writer when I made this. Do not judge me.
You made a comic book. It's super cool.
Okay.
Tony
He was trying to get in.
with the arrow.
It's complicated. Hey,
And
Felix, can
Zach is here
can-
from his studio.
Hi. Sorry about that. Shut up.
Okay. Fun. You got a haircut.
Let me see that handsome haircut.
No.
Oh my goodness.
That's a good summer haircut.
You're a beautiful man.
Summertime.
Good. A lot of the kids are
And the living is easy.
Dad tried to give me a haircut. He failed.
No, you didn't. Felix, turn your camera sideways.
Oh right.
There we go. That's the stuff.
No, I'm sorry.
All right. Any ideas what I should paint tonight?
I was gonna ask the same thing.
You should paint a portrait of Felix.
You should paint an owl, Dad.
Oh,
An owl.
An owl? I think I might.
An owl wearing a red cloak.
Ooh.
I just finished this guy.
Oh, cool.
Oh my gosh, it's an owl.
That's not where I got the idea for an owl from.
No, I literally he was just hanging on the wall. I was just gonna bring him down, and he said, "Paint an owl."
That is the kind of magic we have around here.
That, yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay.
You bet.
How was your week, Zach?
Ooh, last week was a doozy.
What was the best and worst part? Is that, hey, Zach?
Yeah.
Can you tell me if anything's shaking?
Am I shaking?
No, me. Am I shaking?
It doesn't know.
How about my hands and my hands?
Oh.
Is it shaking a bit?
No.
Weird. That's some pretty good stabilization.
Stable, super stable, guys.
Stable.
Seriously, Rich. Seriously. Super stable.
It's just a long time since I thought of like nerd culture being a thing that like was in the negative. But then I was kind of playing up my nerdiness one day, and I was at the gallery, and I was playing up my nerdiness, and I did my funny lisp.
Yeah.
And then I spiked somebody in the audience who had a lisp, and I was like, I probably won't see that person again. You know what I mean? Like,
I know. Is that an ableist thing? Yeah.
well,
I meant no harm.
No, 100%. 100%. I see, but that's the thing, right? Like, if you don't have a lisp and I don't have a lisp, we're probably just not thinking about it, right?
Yeah, probably shouldn't be joking about it though.
If you were hanging out with your best friend who had a lisp, and then it was you too, and all of a sudden you started doing the affectation of a lisp, they'd be like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
Come on, man.
No, this is funny because I have a tendency, it's called mirroring. I have a tendency to pick up affectations.
I have returned.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Where's Felix? Theo's here too.
Am I sideways?
Wow, this is a
Yes,
party
you're
tonight.
sideways.
I'm sideways.
Yeah, you're sideways. Oh, Theo. Come on, Theo, Felix.
Yay.
Yay.
I have to be the orientation police. That's like, please check your orientation.
Yay.
All right.
I have to be the orientation police.
Quick floor. Yay.
Check your orientation. Somebody needs to check their loop.
What? Who's
Who?
Oh no. Where'd it go? Oh, there.
Felix, you haven't been with us in a while.
Yeah.
We need a sixth. Who's your sixth person coming in?
What?
We need a sixth. Who's the sixth person? Theo, does anybody have a feeling like they'd love to see more of Theo's work?
Yes.
I have a feeling like I'd like to see more of Theo's work.
Yes, please.
What would be easier, Theo, if you went and grabbed all of your paintings, or if I just what's it called? Theo. Zach, are you watching?
Oh. Right, good one. Oh no. Am I sideways? I'm sideways.
Bless you. Yay!
Felix, you're crooked.
What?
Well,
It's so
Flip your
cool
screen,
to
Felix.
see
You're sideways.
all of the different styles.
Sideways. There we go.
So
Flip your
cool
screen,
to
Felix.
see
You're sideways.
all of the
Ooh,
styles.
there we go.
Once again, I'm touched and amazed. Thank you.
Cool.
Once again, I'm
We're all
touched and
Felix, turn your
amazed.
volume down
Thank you.
for headphones.
What?
Do you want to try some headphones? Somebody's got a loop.
Yeah.
Why does your phone keep switching? Do you want to try some headphones? Somebody's got a loop. Why does your phone keep switching? That's my boy.
No. Okay. Well. And then.
Felix,
Hi.
love you. It's nice to have you back. I haven't had you here in a while.
I'm not switching
I
it.
think that, Felix, is you need to have some headphones on.
How come?
What?
Why?
Well, because when I speak, it's playing back on your phone. So if you put headphones on, then we won't have like a rippling effect. It's playing back on your phone. So if you put headphones on. Okay. Is that the loop? Is the loop over?
Right.
Hello.
is that okay?
Yeah, we're all good.
Ah! Just stay there.
Perfect.
Oh.
By chance. Who's on first? Felix? You got any art you want to share with us? You have any art? Oh, that looks really good. And you got headphones? You check everything there for brain dent?
Oh,
Good. Okay, and then here's Jess and Rich. And here's Theo. And this is Zach's butt.
Oh.
There's Zach's other butt. Ooh!
Oh.
That was over the line. Here's what I'm doing. I'm going to zoom out a bit. Zoom in on me. I made myself some fresh indigo. And I'm gonna get. You know what this is? I was just testing out some indigo, and it's just so nice on its own. It's a little seductive. You don't even really have to take it nice. You know? Just the paint itself is good. I got this solid marker. I quite like. Doesn't really show up too much in the light, but dark. Pretty darn awesome. Yeah, so we shot our season finale of the Isle of Roux. No, this is the Isle of Roux. We shot our season finale of Lost Hero X. And then we're going to start a few new ventures for the summer. A little less space action, and I think we're going to get into like Mothman and some. Yeah, I was thinking like, actually, I wrote a script today for Mothman and was it Wolfman and Mothman? And obviously, it'll be fun to have some Loch Ness Monster. All that.
All right. I'm thinking about how to do this.
Are all these stories in the same universe, like a Marvel comic?
No, well, not yet. Currently, we're going to take a big break from the space stuff, but I would think there'll be a tendency to have at least 3 players in these scenes. And so I actually thought it would be interesting if at one point, when the sort of Tomb Raiders end up stumbling across 3 like spacesuits with like rotted out corpses and stuff. But I also thought that might be a little dark.
That would be.
I also don't want to give away too much, because you don't know if you know that the bodies end up on a certain planet.
Cool.
Where are you going to sit?
Bring some time traveling elements into it.
What?
Yeah.
Bring some time traveling elements into it.
Do you guys want to watch the final episode of Lost Hero X right now? Let's do it. I'm impulsive.
Yes,
Kelly.
you are.
Hi, Kelly.
Present.
So, okay, yes or no? Do you like this ship? Yes. All right. Do you like noodles? That's yes. Do you miss Earth? Okay. Sorry. So, yes again. Okay. you think we should go back? All right, yes, again. Do you ever cheat twice? Okay. So you only cheat once. That's not a code. That's just jammed. Right. So, one squeak, yes. Two squeak, no. Right, not a chicken person. Okay. One more question. Should we go home? Oh, you can speak if you sing?
Aw. How's it going?
Good.
Good.
Jessie can speak if she sings.
Can she tap dance and fly the ship?
Well,
So what'd you guys do while I was gone?
well, we're going home.
Oh, you decided you want to go home? What's this about? Okay, family vote. You want to go home?
Yes?
You want to go home? I could go home.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's go home.
Right.
Just wondering where I put the whoopee crystals. That's okay. This is on me. We'll find our way. Take us out.
Oh, Rich Saru.
That was quite a thing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that was quite the.
Season.
What is
Jolly good.
So. So I'm kind of impressed that we got through that. That was quite a. That was quite a lot of work.
Yeah, totally. Thank you for doing all the editing and story writing.
Ooh, thank you for being accommodating on the show. Thank you too, Felix, for being an amazing support.
I love that we have 6 people here today.
That nice.
Yeah.
Whoa! Turn it down, Charlie Brown. There you go. Felix, I don't know what with your phone is. It keeps wanting to turn you sideways, but just keep an eye on that, okay? Because it's better. Yeah, the stuff. Thank you. Just give, yeah, there you go. Just give it a turn and let it sit, and then it settles in. I feel like you need some LED lights in there. Okay. Yeah, like I kind of felt a little sad
Yeah.
as it ended. Like, not sad, like, because we're going to start again the Isle of the Lost Hero X in the next season.
Yeah.
But that is nice. Look what he did.
Oh, fun.
But I do think that like that's a long time from now. It's kind of like when your favorite TV show gets to the end of the season finale and you're like both excited and overwhelmed. You know, like that.
Yeah, totally.
Somebody is facing. I can live with it, but it's definitely a hurt. Is it me? It's Theo. Yeah, are you wearing headphones this week? Is he turned off? Okay, so much happened today. For one thing, we literally, it was like the craziest drive home in a long time. And there was two car crashes on the way to Cochrane. And on top of that, when we got home, there was a pile up. We live in this crazy apartment where people are often trying to shortcut their way out of the apartment parking lot because people park here in the day. And the guy trying to get out kind of backed us up so that nobody could get out of the parking lot today. That was unpleasant for sure. And then what other like crazy? Oh yeah, Jess dropped all of the indigo. What kind of cocoa do we have?
Black onyx.
Black onyx cocoa was all dropped all at once.
We just got a new jar and I layered it beautifully,
Yeah.
half and half with the regular cocoa. And I was so excited to make a coffee and put some cocoa in it. And then I just wung out and like I just dropped it.
There was some screaming.
Oh, I just dropped it.
I thought you lost a toe, so I was pretty pleased that it was just cocoa.
You were like, what? Something like cocoa? It's amazing.
No, I'm like, you need to go to the hospital. You're like, you stop talking. Like, no, it's not hospital, but I still want to be dramatic.
I'm still feeling pain. It's just in my heart.
Yeah. I'm not too interested in that, like getting upset over stuff.
Over spilled milk?
Right. Okay, so you would think it's a virtue that I don't get worked up about spilt milk and things like that. But it's actually not always a virtue because sometimes Jesse wants me to get like, oh no, not the cocoa. Right? And then it's like,
can you just let me enjoy this pain for a little bit?
I'm not on your side because you've decided that it's the worst thing ever. And I'm like, well, we all have both eyes.
Can we squish in together a little bit, or are you happy with this?
Why are you asking that?
I just miss you.
Oh.
I'm not sewing tonight. I'm not going to poke you.
Nope.
Okay.
I thought I really was like, is it because you want to be on screen?
No, I just.
I do want you on screen so you can squish in that way if that's what you. Because really, that's your job. I'm. This one's me. Where's my hand? One of these. There's my hand there, and then if I were getting my hand on screen, it's that one's me right there. Look at. To see, I'm pointing at it.
Yeah, the middle one. Oh, look, you can see your hand pointing.
I know. But yeah, I'm me. You're you. So really, you should squish in more. Why is? Oh, I'll just turn the camera a bit.
Oh, that's good.
We're at there. I can join you. I can do this. Smoochy boochy. But yeah, really. No one's checking in to see my face. Can I show a thing?
Of course you can.
It's not dirty. Are you ready to see a thing?
Yeah.
So we have been shooting instant film for about 2 years. And then I was lucky enough to get from your uncle who passed the camera.
Yeah.
And what I went out and bought was a luxurious camera strap. So this is my camera, isn't it?
Beautiful.
Here's my camera. And then I started taking some photos, and it came with a bunch of lenses. This is kind of like my longer lens, but I have an even longer lens. And so this was your uncle's, passed away, went to heaven. And I've told this story a number of times, but then our friend saw that I was shooting this camera and sent me this camera, which has since become Jesse's camera. So we both have now each
A Pentax.
a Pentax, which is pretty wonderful. I'll give you this. And then, if it's okay with you, I'd like to show you some of the photos I've been shooting. So, I don't know if you can see them, but
I feel like that's such a gift. Like you're such a beautiful compositionalist.
sure, I'll take that. This is the tree we keep hunting down.
Oh
But
my
it
gosh, the
has been
trees
quite
lately.
a joy
So beautiful.
to be shooting photography, collecting my family in a non-digital format.
Yeah.
And then, because I had been shooting photos, somebody had presented me with a second camera. And also, doesn't hurt that my wife's gorgeous. Gorgeous, darling. Last night we went out to shoot some film, and I did not have film on my camera. That was a new experience for me. But I really do recommend, if you can, please consider getting yourselves some
35 minutes.
old-fashioned film. It's been a dramatic advancement for our family. Since we met, we both had records. We listened to a lot of records, buy a lot of records. And we got Jessica, Felix, and Rich some easy point and snap cameras. Is Felix still with us? And that's been a joy.
Hi.
And then, how many pictures in your camera, Felix?
Probably like 40.
Okay, so you're about halfway through a roll.
Yeah.
Jess and Felix have
Half frame.
half-frame cameras that shoot 72 photos. And when we go to Disneyland, that's what we're going to take to the park. Is Felix and Jess? Are you bringing your camera to Disneyland, or are you going to go?
I don't know. I don't.
Well, if you don't want to shoot photos at Disney, I will take your camera and shoot my own roll. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
And I'm going to bring my 35 millimeter. I'm going to bring the Insta 360. I like, for Disney, I like the Ray-Ban cameras as well, because you can shoot stuff on the rides with free hands. What do you think of this painting, Felix?
Blah, 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 blah.
Do you have a long weekend coming up, Felix?
Yeah, I do.
Cool. I got the wood for our throwing knives. Question is, should we throw knives? The answer is an emphatic yes, we should. Michelle brought 2 paintings home, so I was able to buy back some of the paintings I sold to keep Rumble House open. And I currently have, I'm going to say, about 80 paintings, which I have not had in over a decade because I have to sell them. Keep the Rumble House open. Where's Kelly's stuff? Is it over there?
Yeah, Kelly.
What you making, Kelly?
I actually have to trim all these.
Oh, nice.
Here, Kelly, pull your hand off screen, but keep it to your right. And pull it off this way. And then when I reach over, you put your fingers in. You follow me? Nope. Here, watch Zach do it. Ready, Zach? You gotta reach under the camera. There we go. Little. Oh, there we go. Now wiggle your fingers. That's the stuff. Now you try, Kelly. Ready? Wiggle your fingers.
That's fun.
It's just weird.
It's just weird.
Is Keith Anderson with us? Keith, are you with us? Right. So I'm actually pretty excited about where things are going to go for our serial stories over the summer because they will tie into each other, but they'll also be separate. So one week will be like Tomb Raiders battling the Mummy. The next week we can be teenagers walking in the woods. I was actually working on some stuff with my kids today at school because I teach this class called Learning Strategies, and in the Learning Strategies class, oh, can you bring me an iced tea since you're in there? What's that rattling noise? Are you making food? Tea? Tea for Tea Roux? Well, I don't even know if I fully told you this. So at my Learning Strats class, a lot of the Learning Strats teachers, all they really do is let the kids do homework. And some do like really extensive classes where they teach new content, right? So one of my friends at work was like, well, I haven't got any of their journals. I'm like, well, you should have made them interesting, you know, like, so we do these like learning posters where I present them with a ton of like strategies. As I get close to our exams, I give them a little bit of space that if they just want to catch up on homework or study, they can. But I had two kids that weren't really desperate to do any homework today because they were all caught up. And I spent maybe half an hour coaching them on how to use AI in an effective way versus in a contrary way. And what we worked on was a script where these two emo kids in a rock band were walking in the woods and they were being pursued by Wendigo and Mothman. And they battled the demons by rocking out in the woods. Now, we actually got 3 endings presented, but I was like, I am totally actually, and I was telling them that I would really like to make some emo puppets because both of the kids are a little bit like edgy.
Cute.
And so like if we had some like gothic emo puppets that could really be like, oh, dude, what's the line?
With like my hair. Oh.
How did you know that would work after they like danced the monsters to death? Like, I was in it for the apocalypse. Like, you know, it was like pretty funny singers. But
emo singers.
Yeah, so I actually today I used some ChatGPT to write content for the Isle of Roux.
I love that.
I don't want to make a habit out of that because I think the trick to staying alive will be to use your brain. But in coaching the kids how to use it for like editing and stuff, we were able to sort of prompt some ideas. And I always teach them the 5-paragraph essay, and I got the ChatGPT to write a 5-paragraph essay, and it did it perfectly. But also the kids were able to see the usefulness of it. Oh, and this is the other thing. Like I was showing them that when we were writing the content for this story, at first it came out kind of campy. She described it as Disney. She's like, it's a little bit Disney. I was like, yeah, kind of campy. I go, will you please write this in the voice of David Mamet? And it came out like boss.
Very
So
cool.
I was trying to explain like knowing who David Mamet is, knowing what style, doing a lot of reading and being your own kind of archivist. If there's any use for AI, means you need to be really versatile and well learned.
Like, yeah, exactly, because then you can really zone in on what you're looking
But
for.
also, we kind of coached ourselves to like this would be very seductive to never have to write again. So like I asked the ChatGPT, what are some strategies to make sure that I don't become dependent on this? And one of the things it says is you have to write 100 words on your own before you ask for help. I'm like, that sounds like a pretty solid plan, you know? I have a lot of teachers who are totally anti-ChatGPT, and then as soon as they tried it, they got obsessed. It's like, listen, nobody's coaching or teaching a class and not getting seduced by AI, right? It's either they're not touching it or they're going nuts. I did have another question. Oh, I know what it was. Hey, Zach, are you there? Can Jessie tell you a little bit about the book she's been reading?
Yeah, please.
I finally picked up Alan Watts because you were talking about Alan Watts all the time, and then my horoscope said that his birthday is one day away from my birthday, and then my horoscope was talking about Alan Watts. So then I read The Age of Insecurity, and I kept stopping. I was like, Rich, this is why Zach kept bringing everything up, is because everything you talk about is in this book.
Everything I've ever known, I learned from Alan Watts.
That's amazing. Yeah, so you're right. I forgot to tell Zach that
She
I read
kind of
it.
enjoys that more than me. I'm kind of like, well, here's 50 great ideas I thought I had that somebody had way before me.
But it's the universal consciousness, like everyone, like it's like.
Well, and I also noticed that he might have passed away right after I was born, so maybe he just, infiltrated my mind and has been waiting for me to
Downloaded everything.
Nice.
Is that in the book?
Not that
Is
one.
there a warning?
I'm getting to the next one.
I listen to him a lot. I haven't read much of his stuff. I listen to it a lot.
Cool. Yeah, I like this, like a speaker and everything. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no, he's so good. I'm listening to him a lot. Oh, and he passed due to complications of alcoholism. And so when he references, rum or varieties of wine, it's like what am I trying to say? Anyway, yeah, I don't know.
It like hits different.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, ooh, a little more touchy.
Did he have issues with alcoholism? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Away from alcoholism.
From the complications due to alcoholism.
Right.
And he's a guru, and so when he brings up, the guru having a cigarette, or he brings up things like that, I think it's like.
I'm reading The Dharma Bums by Jack Kerouac. And if you've ever read On the Road, that was when he was carefree and flippant and using a lot of drugs. And in The Dharma Bums, he's like a Zen Buddhist, and so much more in control of his life. But also, like, the Zen Buddhism in that book is really interesting. And
that's the next book I'm going to read by Alan Watts, is The Way of Zen.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to see if they intersect at all, actually.
Well, I will say that even like the Dharma Bums really, I think, informed Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, there's a lot of like just guy camping and talking about Buddhism. And then Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance really ended up being a lot more open about, like, I'm trying to share my philosophy with you about talking about something kind of interesting, like riding in a motorcycle, but on a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Jess and I will hit this month 1,000 days dry.
Woo! I think that's kind of interesting. Like,
yeah,
Felix,
it wasn't until we quit drinking that we realized Felix had a problem with it. He was too polite to tell us at first, but there's no going back.
I find it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Now I dropped it too.
But about being 1,000 days sober.
is about like.
Do you prefer to say 1,000 days sober or 1,000 days dry? Because we are probably, I would say that we are 1,000 days dry at the end of the month, and 1,000 days sober probably this week. And by that I mean it might have been like a week since I'd been drunk when I quit drinking. But I had a drink the night before I decided to quit drinking. Thanks to Jesse, it was kind of a sissy drink. Yeah, I shouldn't frame it that way, but it wasn't the bourbon I wish was my last drink. She's like, maybe we could try this flowery ginger puff drink.
Because we never have ginger puff stuff at home, and I didn't know it was going to be our last.
Right. It's a bittersweet taste left in my mouth. Literally.
It's interesting. The idea of like consciousness, and then the idea of like perception is always shifting, and then the idea of the different states of mind that you're in. It can be because of like substance, but it can also be because of like meditation or
well, it's also
music.
interesting that like so how can I word this without freaking people out?
This water is so dirty, it's like paint.
How can I word that? All right, like people look at me and they're like, wow, you're so lucky to have Jessica. And I'm like, I sure am. Like, I could never tell you how much I am. Except for sometimes it's harder than it looks. And they're like, I refuse to believe such a thing. I was like, no, it's difficult at times. And everything's difficult, right? But one of the things that really struck me was that you and I really liked the story of Frank Sinatra and Ava Gardner. And then so we got kind of wrapped up in their narrative. And then the sad thing about Frank Sinatra and Ava Gardner is they would have these blowouts, and then Ava Gardner left him, and he remarried, she remarried, and all this stuff. But the sad part is they both went into their late 80s missing each other for the rest of their lives. So they stayed friends. They would call each other in times of crisis, but like the idea of being in love with somebody and not living with them your whole life, you know, like on her deathbed, like what's bugging you? She's like, I miss Frank, you know, like that seemed really like sad. They also maybe had a problem with their drinking. And so it's kind of neat to have these, I'm not going to say role models because they were just babies trapped in adult bodies, but it's nice to have these sort of like forebears that you can look to and go, I shouldn't do it that way. I don't want to end up like Frank and Ava.
Yeah.
So like the idea that, what's the name of our writer friend?
Alan Watts.
Alan Watts, you know, if he drank himself to death, would be very consistent, very, very consistent.
With everyone we looked at.
With all of the stuff we're talking about. Because we quit drinking as kind of a negotiation with my other son about making some better decisions, right? And I realized I was setting some bad examples. And so, you know, as much as I had my drinking under control, you know, I made it a value. I made it one of my values. We're often talking to Felix about how different people have different values, right? So it's like somebody's making you angry. It's not because they're wrong and not because you're right, but they have a different set of values than you, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes when I look at Alberta, I feel like some of my friends from Alberta have different values than me.
Yeah.
Speaking of politics, are we going to speak about politics? I think we are. I have been doing a little bit of research trying to understand the mindset of an Alberta separatist, because there are some patterns that do not make sense.
The separatist army.
Well, the army would be kind of like laughable, I think. But when it comes to separating, I will tell you that I've been a little confused about the logic behind separating. And
do they have droids?
Who am I talking to?
Do they have droids?
Not yet.
The separatists?
No. I would say they're on the side of anti-technology. Like, for instance, there might be a pattern amongst the separatists of like leading the environmental issue truck. What? Sorry.
I'm talking about separatists from Star Wars.
Oh, well, thanks for clarifying that. Guess who's been watching Star Wars since 1977?
I don't know who.
Okay, anyways, I've been talking to my separatist friends, trying to figure out what the gig is, because it does. One of the things I really like about conservative people is their loyalty and their traditional natures. And so I would have thought if there was anybody going to separate, it'd be like the kooky NDPs or the communist liberals like myself. But the idea that conservatives would want to separate really is like a mind blower to me. So I've actually been contacting my what? What'd you do? What?
Paint in tea.
Oh, that's not a big
fine.
deal. It's indigo. Practically a vitamin.
It tastes good. Continue.
Yummy.
Trying to understand the mindset of the separatist friends that I have, I definitely ended up potentially more confused on an individual basis, but I'm starting to see a pattern amongst the crowd that here's what I think. Amongst the people that want to separate from Canada, they know something we don't know, and it's understood, and it's acknowledged, and it's spoken about in code, right?
Mm.
And so I was talking to this one friend of mine, and he was suggesting it had to do with gun control and this and that and the other. I'm like, okay, slow down. Just what exactly did the liberals, these fascist communists, do to you about your gun control? Did they take your guns away? And I don't know. I'm just asking questions, right? And his two concerns were he can't have an AR-15, which is the gun that was used in the Vegas shooting. It's the biggest mass shooting in history of North America. And well, I mean, there's probably like Gatling gun shootings that we're not counting, but modern day like school or crowd shootings.
Yeah.
Can't have an AR-15, which is like, do you want an AR-15? No, but I want to be able to have one. And the other one, and I hope he's not listening because I do not mean this with any disrespect, but he was very concerned about if he got a DV, he would have his ammunition taken away. And I'm like, is that on the table? Is that like, first of all, who has an abbreviation for domestic violence? Like that's just, I'm going down to pick up a DV today. And I really believe wholeheartedly that this friend of mine,
Didn't mean
doesn't
it like
sound
that.
like he's my friend, but he is, didn't mean the words he was saying. He was like, these are the things we argue about. Everybody knows what's the real problem. And I don't know what the real problem is, but one of the problems is I don't think the people that are angry are talking to us about what's angry. It's a secret that they all know. There's a code amongst thieves, and that when they're talking about certain things, they're talking about acceptable things. Now I think that Carney, whether you're a communist or a liberal or a conservative, to have kind of a centrist banker on board during the battles with Trump, I feel like that's kind of to me, that's a compromise. Like I wouldn't normally run out and look for a banker to be the liberal leader, but I'm willing to share, the space a bit. And I think my hope is that he's going to be reasonable. He's going to see the value of Albertans and do some things to appease my conservative friends that want to separate. I'm kind of like, I would rather negotiate that than have like a tantrum and say we're going to separate. But the idea of like the loyalists that I know wanting to turn on Canada, I haven't celebrated Canada Day in about 12 years. Around 12 years ago, I was like, until there's clean running water all across Canada, I'm not celebrating Canada Day. But I will go back to celebrating not being a separated Alberta this year by celebrating Canada Day. And maybe we'll make some kind of donation if we can to some sort of area that needs clean water.
That's a good thing.
But I will celebrate Canada Day, and I've been doing some research. The idea of having to like immigrate back to Canada if Alberta separated is pretty effed up. Like just the idea that you would have to apply to move to Winnipeg. I'm losing viewers as I speak. I'm okay with that. I actually lost about 50 friends since the last election, and I'm okay with that too. I generally won't delete stuff, people, but I will argue with them until they go away.
I like the one question, like, are you effing with me? Like, I like when they actually come to ask.
And it wasn't, but actually when it got to the point where he mentioned domestic violence is what he was concerned
Dad?
about. Like, I'm gonna just pretend that I don't take you seriously here. Yes. Yeah, bud.
I gotta go.
Hey, thanks for
Love
joining
you.
us.
I have to go.
Yep.
Okay.
See ya.
Is he being chased out or something? Or that was pretty intense. He's like, gotta go. I'm out of here. Whoops.
The
I had to
zombies are
stage.
coming.
I'm just trying to resituate us here a bit. Maybe one of these.
I see.
How about one of these? Okay, we need one less or one more. I'm gonna drop myself out for a bit.
No, why don't you drop this one out?
I'll put myself back in.
Yeah, drop
And-
this one out.
No, I'm just trying to find a better shape.
You're in pretty good shape.
Those are pretty small. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put this one here. I'm gonna go back to this. Righty. Oh, come with the frog here. What should I paint now? Mm-hmm. Oh, the tea for
Pick one of Theo's pieces to imitate.
That's awesome. I saw your.
Impossible.
I really love the moon ones with the rays coming out of the moon.
I think having put some thought into ending the season of Lost Hero X gave me a little bit of space to really focus on that last ending. It wasn't shot well, but there's so much thinking went into like how do we close this off. And then it's lucky. Theo sends me a wake up call every morning, which is amazing, with a fresh piece of artwork. And I realized I had about 70 of them since I got back to him. So I downloaded them all, put them into a movie, added a soundtrack. We use Artlist. We still pay for an Artlist account. It was pretty powerful and overwhelming for me to see all those pieces together. The volume of Theo's work could potentially allow you to take his work for granted. In the same way that I remember my cousin Glenn, he was a huge John Irving fan, and he thought because John Irving was so prolific, he would never be taken seriously.
Oh,
No, it's just his theory. I'm not saying it was true.
yeah, but I can see that how people can take it for granted.
Lots of things. That's actually one of the reasons.
Maybe
why
people take things for granted. Like actually, that was part of the Alan Watts conversation in the book. Is that people crave static, unchanging, and then the idea of change is terrifying. But like everything's changing all the time, so then life is terrifying, and the idea of trying to hold on to something. Wait, what started this conversation? What were you saying?
I think we should have quit drinking 2,000 days ago to avoid any potential brain memory loss.
I confess that looking at that movie, well, most of that stuff is really old. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That makes it even better.
And I look at how I make stuff now, which is verging on as simple as possible. And I don't think I could draw those images out of my head anymore. I'd have to copy them.
Well, that's not a problem.
No, it's not. But it's it is intriguing how I view myself over the decades. What I did even 15 years ago is, oh, how did I do that? How did I arrive at that? I haven't a clue because, of course, as I've said many times, as soon as I finish something and put it away, I kind of forget about it.
Totally.
And I don't remember it. I can't consciously recall it until I see it again and I go, oh, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so speaking of simplicity, I'm busy pounding one of the two templates that I'm playing with on both the 5 elevator theme and 2 templates of the Takayo Tanabe made me do this theme. And I think for my big stuff, that's basically what I'm going to be doing for the next little while. So that's all you're ever going to see for, a few months is 5 elevators and BC, my attempts at BC shoreline in a surrealistic fashion, I guess would be the way to describe it. Everything I do is pretty much a cartoon, and that's my demon art critic is quite fond of that. So we shall continue along those lines. I just put a lot less detail now into my cartoons than I did 15 years ago, which was less than what I did 30 years ago, and actually, when I first got into doing larger works, I was very simplistic again. Flat color and just simple shapes of buildings, and just using tonal variation to indicate shadow. I don't paint. I make marks on paper and I color them, right? So, but anyway, once again, Rich, I was really chuffed that you made that movie. That was very, very, very nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Theo. And thank you for sharing your work with us, Theo, because I think, like you're saying, how you're in a movement right now, those like works that you're working on, it's like, I think like it shows all of the different movements. Like you've always been, wait, don't go. I was going to say,
People saw it.
oh,
People saw it.
I know, but I wanted to,
No, we can talk about it.
I like talking.
I'll show you the other ones.
Yeah, I like seeing the different movements of what you're into at those different times.
Yes, I will end with if I only had a brain.
We just went to Rich's school and they did that play.
I was at that party and I got to buy some Rich T. Roux arts.
Do you have the thing on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look. That is so good, Rich.
Yeah. No, but it's funny when you say that because I can't imagine making these now.
Right? That's what you often say that. Like, where did that come from? Who's driving this?
Who's driving the bus?
Sparrow?
Mm-hmm.
Sparrow? Not done yet, but working on it. Sparrow and a
I said,
crow.
I think the things I thought before. And then I said, oh, I'm thinking some more. With the thoughts that I be thinking.
I could be another
I'd
Lincoln.
be another Lincoln. If I only had the smarts. Think of things I never thought before. Well, in a month and a half, we are taking a road trip. And this is a very long time since we've taken a road trip. In it.
In it. I am focused on the bird. Inky blackbird.
I have no like urge to move on from this blue paint. And if I was trying to run the gallery, I'd probably feel some kind of pressure to do something different to try and appeal to this week's crowd versus last week's crowd. But I am really quite enjoying, maybe because I like drawing, and by being able to just use the blue, it's like I'm drawing, but I'm also painting wet medium. And I also really love blue. It's also sweet because I made it. So it's interesting the freedom of a couple things. One, probably part of it is that we don't need to make rent or do anything. It's allowed me to sort of relax and just enjoy my blue period.
Make work. Yeah.
But I literally have 80 paintings in a drawer over there. I don't know. Like maybe I'll put up a show. It's still nice to not have to sell anything. So, but I wouldn't mind putting up a show at this point. Maybe in the summer.
You
we'll
do like,
tent.
yeah, putting stuff out there too. Like that's the thing. It's like it's nice not having to, but then it is really nice to do it too.
Yeah, and we'll take some paintings to Los Angeles. So maybe we run into Greg Cruz or something. That would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me the story of the Tin Man. How did he get this way? Do you know?
No.
I thought you did.
Well, did I? Am I losing that many brain cells?
Who always knew this stuff?
Gina.
Gina is not with us tonight because Gina would tell us how
She
the
may be.
how the Tin Man got this way.
Yeah.
I kind of think that you know the sister Nebula from Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
She was kind of a Tin Man figure, where the witch kept lopping parts off the woodsman.
In the story, it says he cried and he rested himself, or it rained and he rested himself.
Yeah, I'm talking about how did he get made out of metal.
Oh.
It's so weird when you do that.
Well, it's like you can hear my understanding start clicking.
But can you maybe quickly look that up?
Sure.
Did you know Kevin's in live Kevin, that is? He's in Edmonton right now with the school.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
That could have been me. I could be like
The
away tonight.
Tin Man wasn't always made of tin. He was once a woodcutter named Stanton, who was Stanum, who was cursed by the Wicked Witch of the North to punish him for chopping down a tree. She caused his body to gradually transform into tin. The transformation happened piece by piece, eventually turning him into the Tin Man we know. But wait, Stanum's axe was cursed by the Wicked Witch of the North. The North? Glinda? She's naughty? She laid a bad hex?
It said Wicked Witch.
In the Wicked prequel, a different character is one who becomes the Tin Man. But maybe in the
First of all, Wicked is not canon.
I know. Sorry. No.
In the rabbit hole? Are you in the rabbit hole?
Mm-hmm.
I like rabbit holes.
I like rabbit hole. I like it in here. I wrote 13 novels in the series of the Oz books.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Was he a fascist or something?
I can look that up. And the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, the Tin Man, also known as Tin Woodman or Nick Chopper.
Nick Chopper. That's my new password. Jesse's always talking about different kinds of clouds, nimbus and such. And I'm always like, who the hell cares? And then and then I wanted to take the kids outside. So one day we just learned about clouds as an excuse to go outside for the day. And I ended up learning like 15 different kinds of clouds. And I teach in St. Mike's, so or St. Tim's. So out there in Cochrane, there is a ton of
He's actually closer to socialist ideals.
who?
Frank Baum.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Because that, you know what, I heard that like he was some kind of fascist.
The
and that
Emerald
people were-
City was a way to organize representation of socialist utopia. Sorry, continue.
No, it's just I heard there was a cancel culture around him. It didn't occur to me that they cancel him for being a communist. How McCarthy of them. How McCarthy of you. Zach,
Yeah.
I know you're too polite to talk about politics. I've learned this about you.
What do you want to know?
I want to know what people in BC are saying about the Albertans right now. Also, do you see yourself as an Albertan still?
Yeah, maybe that's why I don't hear about it. Is because maybe people think I still am Albertan,
They think you're one of them?
and they're like, oh, he might
So, like,
separate. He might separate from us.
do you need to own land in Vancouver to stay? Or what? You know, like what makes you an Albertan once that goes down?
Oh no, they're gonna
Oh, you're
ship me
just thinking-
back. They're gonna
you're just
ship me back.
Are you thinking, well, there will be borders. Right? You'll have
Wow.
to cross. You would have to cross a border to get to Calgary. If you wanted to come home, you'd need a passport.
Do you want an Alberta passport? I'd want an Alberta passport. I think that'd be cool.
Well, if they separate, it won't be cool. It'll be like a prison. And so I think some
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
sure, but they're you know what? I would have said, you know, a certain number of years ago, how the hell did they let Donald Trump even apply to run for president? Like, very funny, ha ha. Okay, let's get serious. And then he did the thing where his hands were gesturing to indicate that a disability of a journalist. So I'm like, okay, it's over now.
Yeah.
And then he started talking. Why did I make this gesture? Luckily, it was off screen. He started talking about, you know, when you're famous, you can stick your fingers wherever you want. I'm like, no, you can't say that. No one can say that. Certainly, a guy running for the president can't say that. And he did. And then you know what he did? He said, oh, don't worry, that's just locker room talk. And then he became president, lost the presidency, had an insurrection, like, just kidding, maybe we shouldn't give up the presidency. And then you're like, no, none of this can happen. And then he became president again. So when people, and I've had a conversation with a number of people going, oh, they're just talking about separating. It's just a bargaining chip. It can't happen. I'm like,
Just everything's
dude,
scarier
like,
in this
what if
world.
a guy like
Yeah.
Donald Trump became the president of the United States of America? Tell me that can't happen again. So
What?
you put it on the table. It's a little bit like you tell somebody you got a gun when you don't. Next thing you know, you're still in a gunfight. You know, like, it doesn't matter that you don't have a weapon. You brought it on yourself. But what I did do is I did some research to see what it would look like, and comparing other countries that provinces have separated and become their own country. It would be a lot like being in a prison. You know, you'd have a new government, the universities would fail. You'd have a special university set up in Red Deer somewhere. It would be teaching a completely different curriculum. Those of you that were not conforming would be suspect and dangerous. You'd have to apply for art supplies because where are we going to get tomatoes, you know, for the other 11 months a year? And it would be crazy if we separated. But I think when people say that, they just think they're using it as a bargaining chip. Once you vote, like, you should not tell your partner that you're going to break up with them when you mean I'm frustrated, because you damage that trust, right? First time you go, we're going to break up, you're like, wait, that's on the table? That's a thing? Like this friend of mine who doesn't want to lose his gun license if he gets a DV. I'm like, if you get a DV, you've got bigger problems than your gun license, buddy boy. Look at this lens I got. I don't even care if people think I'm political. I actually lost, like I said, I've lost about 50 friends since the last election. I'm not missing them. And I don't have to worry about them coming to the gallery either. Like, oh, somebody once said to me, you remember early days of Trump, that if I stipulated that I didn't like Donald Trump, I made him feel like he wasn't welcome to come to figure drawing. And I answered by saying, you can still come to figure drawing. He's like, what's that supposed to mean? I'm like, you can figure drawing. That's what that meant.
Everything is awesome.
It's 8:24. I got a couple more paintings in me. I'm actually really enjoying where not thinking too much about my paintings is taking me.
That's nice. Yeah, because you're in the moment. You're not forcing anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing is.
We ordered green turtleneck sweaters to facilitate Jesse's floating head show. What do you think about coming on a road trip with us, Zach?
Where to?
Well, to the Isle of Roux.
This Bay?
Well, in July we're going on a road trip, but we're going to continue broadcasting.
Cool.
So you might need to be a little extra interesting in July.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And when we cut through the desert, I'm going to shoot some content for the Coyote and Roadrunner. Do you know people who are watching this? Zach?
Oh, I try not to think about it.
But what do you think? If you were to guess, what's our viewership? What do you think's happening here? Is it just you and me hanging out?
That's what I hope it is.
It's not.
Oh no.
Hear him.
So I've been reading the content information backwards for the longest time. And even though I used like AI to try and help myself understand it, I was still kind of confused because there are certain aspects of what we're doing that are so unconventional that what I was imagining was the explanation of what was going on was actually nowhere near as good as it is. So essentially each week around 14,000 views occur of this. And that happens with about 9,000 exposures. So 9,000 people see the Isle of Roux pass before their eyes. And 9,000 people are watching the Isle of Roux 14,000 times.
Whoa.
Which means most people, on average, are turning it on twice.
Mm.
So they watch a little bit, they go, I'm going to go do something else. And at some point in the week, they watch some more of it. Isn't that wild? I was reading that.
So interesting. Yeah.
I thought that we were being exposed to 14,000 people and 9,000 people took a look. But it's 9,000 people took 14,000 looks, and that's actually pretty amazing. And that based on the estimates that I've been working with, based on what we're doing, especially considering that it's a 2.5-hour show, it appears as though around 50 to 100 people are joining us for the whole show. Not while we're on air necessarily, but over the span of the week, and that around 100 to 200 people are watching a good portion of the show. Maybe not all of it, but a good portion of it. Isn't that wild?
Well,
So make sure you have pants on.
yeah. Hopefully, I haven't like been picking my nose or like.
Honestly, I used to think about that all the time, but then I started going a little nutso. So I was like, okay, I just gotta whatever.
Well,
Like,
and then this happened today where we couldn't log on because it appeared like we were still logged on from last week. And I'm like, wait a second, have I been broadcasting out of my living room for a week?
for like 6
That
days.
would be scary.
Wow.
Oh. Like, did I say anything stupid this week? Guaranteed I did.
Guaranteed.
You know, I was having this conversation with somebody recently, and they said quite matter-of-factly, what was it? It was somebody I knew was talking about the fact that it was a situation where they thought they weren't online, and they were talking about the kinds of things that you would talk about if you're by yourself without being thoughtful about having an audience. And then they realized they had an audience, and
Sorry, I'm right in your bubble. Sorry.
they realized they had an audience, and they had to sort of backtrack a bit. And then I thought, well, here's a weird thing. Like, maybe you shouldn't say stuff that you wouldn't want people to hear. Now, I mean, in fairness, Jess and I often say things to each other that are like private, right? But and also, like, how often do you find yourself checking your phone to see if you're like broadcasting? Like, just going to make sure I didn't pocket dial this person. Because if I was discussing somebody's bad behavior, invariably that's when my Siri kicks in and starts to pocket dial this person, so they hear the whole thing.
Leave them a voicemail of it.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times. Have you? Like, and then you're doing like a Fred Flintstone heist where you got to break into their house and delete from their phone. You said, "What about your boss?" He'll be fine.
Invite them on a double date so you know they're out of the house.
That's exactly it. Wait, have you done this before?
Yeah.
But so the people in Vancouver haven't been commenting on Albertans very much.
Again, maybe it's just not to me, but yeah, I haven't endured any.
You do a pretty good job of keeping your nose clean.
I'm trying to just keep my head low about a lot of that. Yeah, I did get into a crazy argument about the moon and the theory of gravity, and I'm like,
See,
I got
It goes back to values, right?
Pardon me?
That goes back to values, right?
Yeah.
People understand that the moon's real.
I wish I kept it cool.
Can I ask you, and this is actually only because it's you, what was your stance on the moon?
I'm a non-believer. I'm a lunar denier.
Can I tell you something?
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. That was just a really
She is
funny,
100% laughing at you.
funny way to say it.
So
though.
if there's no moon, clearly the NASA didn't land on it.
Oh, 100%. They did not.
You've heard my argument debunking the debunked NASA moon landing is when you say they faked the NASA moon landing. My argument against that is it happened around the same time that Captain Kirk was flying the original Enterprise, and that was the top ability of the universe to try and pull off space. So if you've ever seen that Gorn pick up a big piece of styrofoam and throw it at Captain Kirk, I think you can pretty much bet that they didn't fake the moon landing. Although, can you imagine how nefarious it would be if, like, NASA had forced Hollywood to dummy
To
down
be bad?
their TV effects so that they could make the moon look more believable.
I'm just off the top of my head, the budgets are dramatically
I'm
different.
not having a conversation with you. I love you so much.
I'm drawing birds.
I'd rather tell you what I think
Look.
of. No, never mind. Listen,
Blackbirds.
um,
Blackbird.
Yeah.
And I got a sparrow.
I have no problem believing that they might have
What's
shot.
your favorite bird, Zach?
Are you trying to shut me up? I have no problem believing that they would have shot backup film in case they didn't land it. I'll tell you the reason why I don't have a problem believing that is one of the most devastating moments in my life was we were to play the Grey Cup halftime show in Vancouver, the marching band that I went to, the high school I went to. And we went into a studio to record O Canada so that they could play it over top of us while we dubbed it at the Grey Cup. So we actually played O Canada for the audience, but they piped into the big speakers a pre-recorded version of us playing O Canada. And we were all like, what the hell, man? It's fake? And they're like, well, how do you think they would record this football field of, marching band people that are hundreds of feet apart? Oh, no, that's not a thing.
Sure.
Yeah, no. Wet paint on the keyboard is not a thing. It's a bit of a spaz moment for me. And we don't use that word anymore. I had a panic attack.
Sorry, I apologize.
No, but so then when I would hear things like somebody faked their live performance on Saturday Night Live, I was like, that's not shocking to me at all, because when we were going into studio to record O Canada, they just said, oh no, this is normal. Everybody does this. And we're like, oh. But it's impossible to mic up 150 marching band kids to record
O Canada.
O Canada, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been watching a lot of podcasters turned into babies by AI. I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Who's your favorite?
Speaking of fake stuff, Theo Vaughn as a baby is absolutely hilarious. But I've caught on to like different movie scenes being turned into babies as the actors by AI. It's so funny. The Princess Bride scene.
Maybe like a really super violent one where it's like, ooh, like babies doing that scene from
Kill Bill.
Well, no, I was gonna say Reservoir Dogs. But
Oh yeah.
guy's tied to a chair and he's dancing down.
No, they're like no, they're babies. They don't have thumbs. They're like it's AI's getting good.
Why does he think babies don't have thumbs?
No, they're just not that capable. I don't think babies are off in each other's ears. That's all I'm saying.
Whatever. You don't even
I just noticed Zach had cut his hair. It looks good, Zach. Oh, wow.
Oh, my haircut, Kelly.
Good.
It's
I
good.
didn't cut. I lied to you. But I did that.
Some of the AI ones I'm watching are the kitty cats that are like, they hit a rooster with a baseball bat, and then they are thinking about putting them in the pot, and then they do put them in the pot. And the cat's chopping like
Can you
onions.
do this again? I think I misheard you. Did you say a kitty cat hitting a rooster with a baseball bat?
Yep.
I didn't mishear you.
Yeah, no, it's someone used AI on it. I thought it was funny.
Better than if it was a real kitty cat and a real baseball bat, I think.
No, I wouldn't be good.
That reminds me of like some Warner Brothers. Some
Totally. Yeah.
Hey.
That's all, folks.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I wonder what like animal violence would be acceptable. Like Attenborough has some weird stuff too. Sometimes, like just as you're getting to like that rabbit, they start doing a little feature on a panther, and you're like, I don't like where this is headed.
You're like, Attenborough, don't do it to me again. Don't do it.
And I sort of feel like it was Disney that where I really saw the animal maulings. Like, am I wrong about that, or did that happen in my childhood?
It probably happened.
Sunday night, magical world of Disney, and some like, mountain lion chasing down a deer, and you're like, get away, get away! No! Now I have to have nightmares. Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
You don't have nightmares.
Is that a question?
No, I'm saying
I don't have what?
you don't have nightmares.
I'm cool. I'm cool with it though. I do, but it's like I'm cool about it.
What was the last nightmare you had?
Just the other morning we watched Donnie Darko a little too close to bedtime.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the morning. It was like a snooze situation.
Yep.
And promise you, I had like that Frank character like talking through me. It was spooky.
My nightmares seem to be on repeat. There's different versions, basically the same story. It usually goes, I'm at a SkyTrain station in Vancouver, kind of near, when I leave Coquitlam, before I get into like the city, what's the one that's like an entire district of shopping malls?
What city? Sorry?
In Vancouver,
Yeah.
like I used to take the train as far as Coquitlam because that's where my family's from.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then before Coquitlam, is it New Westminster? And it's like an entire district that's just like shopping malls.
It might be Brentwood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's another name?
Metrotown. Yeah, there's Metrotown.
Is Metrotown just a bunch of movie theaters and shopping malls?
It's like Metropolis at Metrotown. Yeah, that's a pretty big. Yeah.
Okay, so that's where I'm at in my dream. That station.
Yeah.
I've got to get back to Calgary on an airplane to teach a class, and there's basically enough time for me to get to the airport if I don't miss any connections, and I can get on the plane and make it back to Calgary in time. That if everything works out, I'll be just a little late for class. I usually don't know what class it is. I got to figure it out when I get there. I often don't know what room it's in. I got to figure that out when I get there. And then here's the hard part. You ready for the hard part? Not wearing pants. I have a t-shirt that can almost cover me if I stretch it down, but I don't have any pants on, Zach. No underwear.
No filters.
Pants.
Oh, wow.
Got just nuts in a t-shirt. And I got to get out of the airport and get back to Calgary. And I'm doing everything I can to sort of stay low key.
I mean, for a lot of Vancouver, you'd be okay, but closer to the airport.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, this is one of my nightmares. The other one is I end up homeless and I need to move into this place that no one should live. And as much as that's a good setup for a nightmare, it's also what I like to call the 90s.
Little deja vu.
Yeah. Now, the difference is I'm newly single in most of the dreams, right? And it's not like Jess was in the dreams. I'm just newly single. So this would be the part of the dream where Jess dumped me only like minutes or days before I ended up homeless. And then lately, a change is that Jess is now with me.
And I was like, oh, that's so nice.
After I become homeless, Jess is now with me.
I like that I'm there with you.
Yeah. She was really excited that I included her with my homelessness, which actually, based on our last 12 years together, could be a real future for us. You see Rich Teru and Jess Teru pushing a cart down the street, and people will go, oh, they ran that art gallery in the 2000s. I wonder how they ended up this way. Was it drugs and alcoholism? No, it actually wasn't. How did we end up so far behind? But we did get 2 free cameras, so I can't complain that much.
We're doing good. Everything's fine.
How did we end up so far behind?
That's
well,
not
instead
your
of buying a house, we ran an art gallery for.
Not your dream. Everything's fine.
Yeah. But anyways, Jess was with
But
me.
anyways,
Yeah, there's no behind. Yeah. That's,
I'm with you.
Do you think? Are you going to buy a house?
maybe in New Brunswick.
Yeah. Right. Or in the Republic of Alberta? Not likely. You'll
I don't
have to
know.
go
The rental game is so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Robin.
Nice.
Proud of my Robin.
Do you know what I used to call Robin when she was a baby?
What?
Robin.
Oh, Bobby.
Here's a funny story. We crashed in a WestJet plane about 20 years ago. And first of all, I was telling one of the kids in my class, because he really likes airplanes. I was like, do you know I crashed in a WestJet plane? He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, you can look it up. So he went to look it up. There's no evidence of the WestJet plane that I crashed in, other than I have a letter where they apologized.
In passive voice.
Yeah, we are sorry to learn that there may have been an incident on a flight that you might have been on. Just say what it is, man. Just say it. There was another point to that, though.
You're talking to a kid?
Oh, yeah, no. I wrote a song.
That ties into my Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
Huh?
He says, "Oh, do they know where the engine came from?" And they say no, and I had to sign an NDA. And he's like, "Okay, so we can't talk about the fact that we don't know anything."
It was kind of an NDA situation when my plane crashed, that they sent me a very passive apology that could have been from anybody to anybody, admitting that something might have happened, but they're not sure, but it could have been the front wheel of the airplane.
Yeah.
They then offered me, because it was my daughter and I on the flight, and because I paid for the flight, they offered me a one-way ticket somewhere.
One.
So Robin and I flew to Vancouver and back, and then we actually went twice because the first plane didn't make it. And then they wanted to give just me a one-way ticket to Vancouver. I'm gonna buy the seat back. So I wrote them back saying, "Hey, look," and I lied. I'm like, "Dude, my daughter is so traumatized by this. I'm gonna need 2 tickets, and they need to be returned so that I can get her on a flight and rebuild some confidence." And they did send me 2 tickets. I didn't really have the money to fly again. I gifted the tickets to my parents, and they just let them expire. They did not use my tickets. So I
Right.
stopped giving things to my parents.
Was it real scary? Did you guys actually crash?
It was the same day as the Concorde front wheels blew off, and it was the same problem. As we took off in the plane, and I remember taking off going, that was weird, because it was a super bumpy takeoff. While we're flying, the pilot came on and said, "We're just going to do a little fly over the tower in Banff." And I'm like, we never fly over Banff on the way to Vancouver. We did a fly by Banff. We did a couple times, and then he informed us we're going to go back to Calgary because that's the best place to crash an airplane, and that the front wheels were broken, and that we were going to do an emergency landing.
Whoa.
And we flew back to Calgary, and we did laps around Calgary for an hour to burn off the fuel, because when you're crash landing a plane, you don't want to
Have a full tank.
have a full tank of fuel. I remember going around Calgary and watching our shadow cross like parks and yards and people. And as the shadow went over top of people, I thought, oh, wow, that's crazy. I don't think I've ever been under the shadow of an airplane before. They finally burned off all the fuel. This is the point of the story. Is I wrote a song for Robin about crashing into an airplane. And then like a couple months ago, she texted me. She's like, "Tell me the Robin song." And I started singing this song about crashing the airplane. And then she's like, "No, this other song." I'm like, "Oh yeah, the other song." And then she's like, "That first song's a bit morbid, Dad." I was like, "Yeah, I guess I realized I never sang her the song about us crashing into the ocean." But and it wasn't. It was the Rocky Mountains we're flying over. But okay, flew back to Calgary. We did the full-on crash landing procedure, which is they flick the lights like a horror movie, and they chant at you, "Stay down, bend over," like this: "Stay down, bend over, stay down, bend over." You stick your head between your knees, and the lights are flickering, and then we landed the plane. And to tell you the truth, it was as though the plane landed, and at the last second, if you drop 4 feet off of a swing set or something, it was just like, Boom. And if they hadn't told us, we probably wouldn't have known. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure we went out the
air
air slide.
slide.
I think we slid
Oh.
down the air slide. And then because I was the only person on the plane flying father and daughter, every single person on that plane split in half, where half the people went and got their bags, and the other person went and redid the tickets. We ended up absolutely last to get on the next flight, and ended up waiting 2 flights. Spent the entire day at the airport. Robin was thrilled because there was a park there, so we spent all day where she played at the park. We took a airplane to Vancouver. Was there a SkyTrain from the airport back then? I don't think so. Maybe we did it. I remember there's a transfer at, what's the big beautiful station there? Center.
Oh, Terminal?
Yeah, we went to Terminal.
Yeah.
Got a bus. The bus went 10 feet up. Is Terminal on a really steep hill? You're either heading for Terminal or leaving Terminal. We went 20 feet up the hill, and the entire bus just blew up and stopped. And then Robin's singing the entire trip, stay down, bend over, stay down. Like, where'd she learn this song? Don't sing. Oh, that's what she was asking me. She's like, what was the crashing song from Vancouver? And I was like, the first time down, there was nothing left of Robin.
No!
The second time down, there was nothing at all. The third time down, they'd forgotten about my Robin. My baby doll and me crashed into the sea. Oh, there's another verse. The third time down, they heard her call, that's all. Anyways, yeah, it was like kind of a messed up song to sing about. Like,
Yeah, that's
losing my
morbid.
daughter in the ocean. She's like, tell me the song again. So I was singing her this in the middle of the night.
Oh. She wanted,
she's like,
stay
what the hell,
down,
Dad?
bend over.
Yeah.
I want the catchy one, not the morbid one.
Mhm.
Man, these things that form us.
How's this looking?
Oh, nice.
Did you talk to Theo about painting green elevators?
That's inspired me.
Is
Theo
that
slideshow.
Is that a rebellion elevator? Is that a liberation elevator?
Beauty.
It's a beautiful.
Everything's political, man.
Yeah,
Way.
it's bright red. R is for
Rebellion. I'm gonna draw a fake moon.
yeah.
Okay, explain to me how they fake the moon. Is it projected?
Maybe not. It's like what? How? Jordan B. Peterson, he talks about like, well, if you don't believe in white econo vans, you better still look both ways on the street, because a white econo van might come at you and end your life. So when I say something like I don't believe in the moon, it's not that like I'm not outright not looking at a celestial object, but there's just a lot of very spooky stuff about that entity. I'm just not for conventional narratives about the moon.
That's what I tell people, though. Because somebody at school was asking about flat Earth, just like yesterday. And I was like, dude, nobody on the planet believes in a flat Earth. They just say that because they have the freedom to say that, and they're messing with you. The game is, you can't make me say the Earth is a sphere. And they will go to the death before they admit that it's a sphere, because it's their freedom to say it might be flat. I know I'm calling you out because you believe in flat Earth too.
Yeah, that's all right. No, I'm down. I'm down.
Let's just say from where you're sitting, it's flat enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm cool. Oh, however it's got to be.
It looks flat to me, but it's not. You know, how did they
It's a little.
what's the rock star they put in space?
Put a rock star in space?
Well,
Oh, you don't believe that, do you? Oh no.
Katy Perry?
Oh no.
They're just being rude calling that a space thing.
well, Zach, did I fake our art launch?
Oh.
You're telling me Lost Hero X is a documentary?
Lost Hero X is
when
my kitchen table.
when we put art in
100%.
space.
Did I not put your art in space?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh well, I mean, if space exists, you did, yeah.
Who knows if I did or not? But do you think I did? Okay, now listen. I love you, right?
Oh, sorry.
No, just
Yes.
listen.
Yeah.
You listening?
Yes.
You don't seem to believe it.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to be insensitive, but I think we just put a bunch of art into the ocean, maybe.
My camera's
We got it
bounced
back.
on the jar.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's
And if you
important.
shake the table, it's going to break.
Why is your camera? Oh, you're painting it. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm not touching it.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said, Zach.
Okay, I wish I didn't say it.
Do you think I put your art in space?
Well, I mean, I delivered a piece of art to you, and then you delivered it to an authority that was going to, put it on something. We were going to
Was it a spy mission on your part?
burn a bunch of gas. Yeah, I should have put a iTunes tracker on it.
Okay, here's a question, though. Wouldn't that be a great piece for your resume? Yes or no?
I don't know. What am I applying to? What job am I applying to?
Well, your CV, when you're putting up art shows, did you forget
Oh,
to put art in space on your CV?
Hmm.
Do you not keep track of your art shows?
Not the best track.
I think your partner would do a good job of keeping track of your CV. Do you have a CV?
I don't have one, no.
Not even for your. I thought you were doing everything like super. You had stickers printed. You don't have a CV?
I got, yeah,
My
I'm
son
not.
found some of your stickers and he was really mystified what it meant. If he was here, I would have had you explain to him
Seasons.
what seasons meant. He wanted to know if it was a brand or what it meant.
Oh, it's sort of like the title of that series of paintings, like as a show, kind of like
That's what I told him.
like the Going Out West tour. It was like the season's art show.
Okay, I have another question for you because I was not your teacher, but if I was your teacher, you would have a CV. Do you know exactly what I mean when I say that?
Yeah. Like it's like I don't want to say like a resume, right?
It is your essential resume for an artist.
Yeah.
I didn't hear you say essential.
I don't play by the rules, Rich.
Really? You want to talk about politics then?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm being a jerk.
We love you, Zach.
But I'm being a jerk for a purpose is I really think you and I should sit down. We'll write out your CV. Because if the next time you apply for a show, you've got a recording of all your shows and that you put art in space because that's kind of a big deal. We can word it in a way that it doesn't conflict with your beliefs. But you should have that on your resume.
I do need I need hand holding. I need continually carried.
Well, I have no trouble helping you with your CV because Jesse helps me with mine.
It's
It
maybe
doesn't
easier.
involve it doesn't need it doesn't need to be photographic, right?
No, it's just a list
No,
of your
just a
shows
list. Yeah.
Yeah.
and achievements. It's like a 5-page brag.
Right? It's too pretentious.
No,
It's maybe easier when someone helps you do it because then it's not you.
yeah, you got to write about yourself in the third person.
Because I help Ruth with his because it's easier to.
Well, you kind of need that if you're going to apply for shows. I don't need it because I don't apply for shows. Badass. But I still have a for like when we did the TEDx talk, we needed that CV. They asked for the CV if you didn't present. A lot of times, the things you get paid for require a CV, right? And then those things you get paid for end up going on your next CV.
I think I'm into just throwing my own shows. I don't know that I need to. I'm gonna Taylor Swift it. Just
When's your next show?
we've been talking about it. I was hoping to be able to do something for my birthday, but it's looking like probably next spring.
Here's a funny question, and this is not for solid. My last show, I mean, not counting the gallery, was in Chicago. No, not Chicago. It was in Illinois.
Carbondale.
And the reason it happened was because a guy bought my work and put my stuff together in a show. You didn't?
I did. I saw
Yeah, you
it.
did. But my next show might be my wife's sister's partner. Mother works in a gallery in Ticton, and she'd shown an interest in some of my paintings, and so I gifted her a painting. And then Jess was conspiring for me to put a show together in Ticton, and I don't have a problem with that. But
And I take the photos of your work, and then I want to send them off to her. So it's like.
but would you like to
easier.
have a joint show in Penticton?
Whoa!
Hanging next to
I don't want to interrupt, but yeah, I would love to.
Stuff, so it's kind of a good balance for me. I've got about 80 paintings, but they're little, so there would probably be lots of space. And then I could do the thing where, like, I won't show unless you show Zach Abbott's as well.
Oh, that's a flex.
I know, right? I did for a year. I won't say who. Every time I got invited to an event, say I won't go unless you invite this person. And actually, for years, I used to do that with Jess. Like, come talk on the radio. I'm like, oh, I'll come if you bring me and my wife. They're like, well, in this case, we just want to talk to you. I'm like, well, then I'm not coming.
Yes.
It was always about whatever opportunities came my way needed to be balanced with an opportunity to push somebody else up.
That's a secret of the ages.
Yeah. As long as you do it expecting nothing in return. Because you're virtually guaranteed to get nothing. Except my wife. She actually wrote a TED Talk about me, which was kind of sweet. It was called Living with Autism. Living autism adjacent.
It wasn't called.
I was about stitching me back together. What time is it?
I know that.
We're going to go till 9. Okay, here's the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you falling asleep?
I always start getting a little tired.
No. Because you do that voice that tells me I kept you up too late.
But I do.
I was wondering if you might want to go for a walk. Test out the shoes. My
Let's
George
see.
shorts.
Oh,
Zach, guess what?
What?
My feet have not seen sunlight in probably as long as you've been alive. How old are you?
I'm 30 some.
Might be that long since I've worn shorts.
Nice.
Yeah, and then this year I got some shoes that would go really well with some tanned ankles. So I'm gonna have to do something to get some sunlight on my ankles, or else offend people with the.
I feel like ankles won't offend.
I don't know if it was the lighting or what, but I just the other day I was checking my toes out, and I am a ghost as well.
Yeah,
Translucent toes.
so that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, and they're such beautiful shoes. I think if I had slightly tanned ankles, they'd look really Italian feet. But right now they look like nice shoes on a dead guy.
Okay.
Who's short on iron. My superhero character could be not Iron Man, Iron Deficit Man.
It's so funny. Oh, you have to do after? That's the glass and cocoa on the
Oh
floor.
yeah, you know what? It kind of looks like a holiday in there though. It's like kind of like being,
Like festive.
you know, when you move to a new area, it's not quite finished.
Don't stand over there.
One
There's
neighbor has glass,
mixed
and the
with
next
cocoa.
neighbor just has like a dirt lawn. That's what our kitchen looks like right now.
At one point, I thought, oh, maybe it broke really nicely, so I could just get some of the cocoa. But no, there's tiny shards of glass.
Well, I thought you dropped the coffee. No, the thing we put the pucks in.
Oh,
What's that called?
Just the
The
coffee.
Zamboni?
Something like that.
Like coffee ground thrower in it. I don't know. Where you whack the espresso pucks into it. I never worked in a coffee shop.
There's a blue spot on the ground there, right next to the carpet. You have the one that's spread.
I can go clean it.
Oh, I was more warning you to make me blue because I'm not thinking. So you don't want to test out my new shoes on the pavement? Would you like to see my new shoe, Zach?
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Kind of like if you had slippers that you could wear to the pants.
Maybe.
You can see the top of my foot here. When you need some sunlight. Or I have some people. Look at this. Nice.
That is really cool.
Who made the shoes?
It was made in Portugal. I
Nice.
ordered it off the internet. It took like forever to arrive.
They were making. Yeah.
There's a girl, a cow.
And then Portugal had a power
Slay
outage.
that beast. So I've asked you twice if you want to go for a walk, and you purposely not answered me. So I'm taking that as a
No, we can go for a walk. And it
Well, you
takes
can't
me,
do that. I know you don't want to go now.
it takes me a long time to consider how I'm feeling. And we can go for a little walk after. I saw that we have lots of garbage to throw. So wait, actually, let's take the garbage out and then we can go for a little walk. And then I always enjoy going for walks after.
When you get out there and you get so excited. Like same with Felix. Like
But it's like when I'm
getting
inside,
him to put his shoes on
but
is
that's-
like such a nightmare. And
that's
then as soon as he gets out there, he just starts talking about how great it is to go for a walk. It's like ruined it like
What's that called? Is that a thing? Is that
pre-ruining something.
where you never want to go, but then you never want to leave?
It's kind of like that, like in that Alan Watts book, he was talking about like not wanting change. Like I'm here and I'm so comfortable, and then like that's why I like you so much, Rich, is that you're always like, hey, let's do this. Hey, let's do this. I'm like, do you not have the fear factor of the new thing? Do you not feel that fear at all?
I have the opposite of that.
You're like excited for the fear thing.
Yeah, or like it's not so much that is like, and I remember the first day I noticed it. I was working at Thrifties, which became Blue Note for years, and I was walking to the food court. This was my break, and this lady came out of the jewelry store. I'm sure I've said this online before. She just started screaming, "Are you serious? Are you serious? What the hell is wrong with you?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I didn't think she could possibly be talking to me. I didn't think it was possible that this was directed at me. But then I saw her pull out the Windex bottle and a rag, and she started wiping down the windows where I'd been touching them. And I was like, "Oh, this is about me." Like, I'm like, "I touched the windows." She wanted to know why I touched the windows. I'm like, "I touched the windows? Like, I don't know why I touched the windows." I was trying to like process like why the hell do I touch the windows, especially if it causes this lady so much distress. And I realized I would leave the store and my hand would touch everything between the store and the food court, and I was forever. I would run my fingers across the entire store's windows, and she would come out and what do you call it? Like Windex the walls, and then so I think she just thought I was trying to like torment her, and I was like not at all even aware of her. I was just like, why is she yelling at me? Then I had to do some soul searching to understand like what was my problem, why was I touching the windows, and I came to the conclusion that basically wherever I went, I was touching the wall to make sure I didn't disappear, right? Like kind of like my dream where I have pants, but I have to be somewhere. And so that was quite a realization to discover that I have a problem with like being afraid of ceasing to exist. And so that's my problem. It isn't that I'm comfortable and I don't want to change. It's that I often think that if I'm not actively engaged in trying something new, that I look down and see my feet not touching the ground. No one will even remember or notice that I missed. Which is more like your fear, Zach.
More like what?
So,
My fear?
yeah.
What is it? What am I afraid of?
Or homeostasis.
Yeah, I'm all around scaredy cat.
Really. If that were true, you'd only have a 3-letter tag.
Yeah.
You'd be like, I got to get here as quick as possible.
Did that come up on here? That's so funny.
Actually, I do have a very good memory, especially when people are like chucking themselves under the bus. I have a very good memory. There's one kid I teach was asking me if my dream of him was formed by his permanent record. And I was like, what makes you say that? And then he kind of like referenced a few times that I brought up things from his past and he wanted to know if I'd read things from his past. I'm like, dude, you told me that. And then you told me this, and then you told me this, and then you told me this. And he's like, oh. It's like, I really told you that? I'm like, yeah. I was even sitting here going, why you got to tell me everything?
Why?
How about you just give me some space to think the best of you? No, he's an amazing kid, and I think the amazing thing about him. I do remember, like, just the other day he was asking if I'd had a glance at his permanent record. I'm like, you're your own walking permanent record, man. You tell me everything.
Do you think you're the kind of person that people feel compelled to share things like that with because you're so
It's
non-judgmental?
part of it is like I blurt, and when I'm blurting, it's something that somebody needs to talk about. So if I ask you a question, it's because you wanted to talk about it. And a lot of times I'm like, oh, I can't believe I asked that. Like I've heard lectures on don't ask somebody why they went to jail. But I will always be like, you went to jail, what for? And they're like, oh, I'm not supposed to ask that. And then they'll tell me. This? No, I just barely even thought. I didn't do any thinking. It's kind of, no, right? Okay, what are we at for time? 9:12. We usually go until 9:36. What would happen if we stop now?
Whoa, that cowboy scene is
Did you say eh?
it's sick. It's good.
Good, it's good. I think
Good.
like, dude, that cowboy scene is eh.
Oh no, no,
I might,
no. I'm
I
down.
might for, and we can put it in our next show together.
Penticton.
It's a rock solid maybe.
Yeah.
If I don't have to do any work, I will surely put my work in that show. If I have to, it's so funny because I'm like, you need a CV. I'm like, I'm not putting a CV together. And I have one because my wife will do it for me. But I hate asking permission for anything. So if somebody said, hey, you want to have a show? I'm like, I'd love to. So I just fill out the paperwork. I'm like, I'm not going to.
Let it dry.
Let it dry, let it dry. Is there a song for tonight?
Yeah, but I have to go listen to it to remind me.
So what if you do that? I'll do one more drawing.
Okay.
Can I use your space?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll
Here's
be
the
back.
thing, though.
Yeah.
If you're going away and you're not going to be on camera, we got to do something about the camera. Don't go yet. There's just people watching. Okay. If you leave, you can see into the camera. Woo-wee! Squeal, Bubba. Oh no. Can you get me a paper towel?
Yeah.
Get it. Get it to myself. Oh, I'm spilling everywhere. Well, you know what? It's authentic.
I said don't move the paper.
But then you left the screen empty.
But what does that have to do with anything?
Well, I'm trying to move into your space.
You don't need to.
Why do I feel like I need to? And why are you telling me I don't need to?
No.
Here, take this away.
I have both hands.
Please take this away. No, you need two hands. You need to hold it.
I have heat water.
Priorities. Let me put it on there. Somebody's a lot of work. It might be me. Look what I did. Give me over. Can I have a snacker? Ooh, do I have half a salad? Do you have half a salad? Oh. Can I have my half a salad? Half a salad. I cannot eat the whole salad. Ooh. Was this for professional? That camera is very hot.
Okay.
Hey, you want to see our overhead camera?
The rig? Yeah, please.
This is our huddle. I graffitied on it, on the edges, was that people would think was junk. We ended up with this camera for the sole purpose of it was so expensive nobody would buy it. At the early days of the online broadcasting during COVID. We ended up buying this camera for $700 because it was the last camera in North America you could buy.
Oh,
It was sold last week, and then it was like, who would need a $700 webcam? But it works really well upside down, like facing down, and it can zoom in and zoom out. The colors aren't as great as nice as this camera here. And this camera here is a Sony. But I used to have nightmares about this dropping or falling because basically without this box, we would have no Rumble House. And also right here is a little light. It's not on right now. But this light here was basically our entire world when we're broadcasting during COVID. This light was like, instead of meeting or seeing or speaking to people, it was just straight up like we would look at the light and pretend it was we weren't alone. Now, like the joy now is we get mail in our post box. So there's this. And if you'd like to see the other camera we work on, if you'd give me a second, I'll show you the other camera. This is a Sony camera. I do not believe it has a battery in it, but probably steal this battery. I can steal the microphone battery. But this camera, it's a product camera, and it's what I have here. I have a duplicate of it here. And what it does, here's the feature that it does, really interesting, I think. Say if my face is here, it's zoomed in to get details on my face. If I hold the product up, it automatically drops my face out and focuses on the product. And so it's a product camera.
Is that right, Ellie? My goodness.
Meow, see, meow.
All right, Ellie, the kitty. Meow, meow, meow.
Yeah, somebody's needing kitty crack.
I wondered, Theo, if you put your cats on and Kelly put her cats on, if they could bond.
I would say definitely not.
Definitely not, no.
What do you guys know about cats? I don't know.
I now have 3 cats. So my friend's cat, Missy, is staying with us for the summer. And she's been, they're slowly starting to get along now.
Do they get along, those cats?
Well, in the beginning, no, it was slap, slap, fight, fight, fur flying. So they're slowly getting accustomed to each other, slowly. Well, I have like 4 diffusers in the house. So it's a pheromone from the mom cat, makes them relax.
That's the thing, hey?
Yeah.
Can you say that again? What was it called?
It's called Feel Away, and it's a diffuser that has the mom's pheromones in it, and it makes the cats more calm, so they don't fight, so they don't pee in places they shouldn't, stuff like that.
I have questions.
Okay.
How did you retrieve the mother cat's pheromones?
I think it's synthetic. So I have no idea. They reproduced it somehow.
So it's not the mother's cat.
What's synthetic?
What?
It's a synthetic.
Synthetic.
Chemical.
Oh my God.
They must have done something. But it seems to work. I have a spray you spray in the carrier, and you seem to be calm for it. It smells kind of, it's not perfumey, that's for sure.
The if I understand correctly, Zach doesn't believe in a moon, but he has no problem with this cat mom thing. Is that true? Tell me the truth, Zach. Flat Earth, fake moon, or
Cat pheromone.
synthetic cat mom?
All of the above.
You're a conspiracy theorist. That's what you are.
Oh, I heard a good one that there might not actually be 8 billion of us, and that they're just making that up, and the census has never worked. And
How many do you think there are, though?
I haven't thought too much about it. I just like to spread rumors, but it is probably lighter than 8 billion. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we can see you, Jack. We can see you. It says booey, wooey, woo da dum. We're gonna sing that song tonight. Hey, what are you singing tonight? What? Oh, good. Yeah. So, I think I know 10,000 people. I think I met that many people through the gallery.
And teaching and stuff.
Between teaching and the gallery, I think I know 10,000 people. I think I've met 30,000 people through the gallery, and I probably through teaching met another 10,000 people. And in total, I mean, I went to high school with 2,000 people. Zach, are the views on my TEDx talk fake?
You got bots? You've been buying views?
We're buying views? Not yet. I don't see the value of that.
No. I don't think. Yeah, if you're not buying views, then that's authentic. Yeah.
So there's at least 100,000 people.
Okay, but I mean, we're talking billions, and we're talking about multiple billions. I mean, what is it? It's like the difference between a million is 11 seconds, and then a billion is like 30 years or something.
Do you know what a million looks like?
Exactly, that's a big number. No.
I did this over COVID. I took a piece of paper and I put a dot on the paper. And then I think I did 100 dots in a little square about the size you'd see on a piece of graph paper. And then I did 1,000 dots on that paper. And I think a piece of paper was about 8,000 dots. And then about a foot, about an arm's length by an arm's length, I think was I 1,000 before?
8,000 on a sheet of paper.
Yeah, I think like 80,000 was like a sheet of paper. And by the time I was done adding it up, 1,000,000 of these dots was roughly the size of our cafeteria at school. So the Rumble House would have been like 500,000 dots at the size I was working at. So if I had 2 Rumble Houses and covered the floor with this paper and I put 1,000,000 dots, that's how many dots a million is. A billion would probably be
Calgary?
Yeah, about the size of Calgary. Maybe more
yeah,
like,
that's too much.
Ward 8. Not all Calgary, but definitely probably bigger than downtown and smaller than the city.
Yeah. Just I just like a little contest,
Yeah, Jack's making a good point. Actually, when I was teaching chemistry at the beginning of the year, I kind of realized I don't know what it is. So I was like, oh, what is chemistry? And then I read, the definition of chemistry is pretty much the same definition for a molecule, which was the same definition for a particle, which was the same definition for an atom. Then you go into the atom. They kept saying it's the smallest building blocks. I'm like, come on, like it can't be the same answer for everything. So even though I'd learned this in school, I needed a better explanation for myself. I came to the conclusion that protons and neutrons and electrons, they're not unique. They're just little tiny things. Inside the proton and the neutron and electrons, they're all, an electron from me is the same as an electron from you. By the time the protons, neutrons, and electrons make something unique, you have an atom. Okay. And the atoms will attach together because of the electrons in the outer ring of the atom. The way I would explain that to the kids in the class is to say, it's like 6 kids are going to the party, and one car's got 4 seats, the other car's got 2 seats, and there might be 2 groups of friends that are 3, but they kind of like partner up to get to the party in their cars. How did I get on there?
I like that analogy.
Yeah. If you were to take the size of string theory, like a string in string theory, then what they imagine the strings in string theory inside an atom, the difference between an atom and an individual string in string theory is the same difference between an atom and a Can you hear me chewing?
Is that what that is?
I hope not.
No, thank you.
It looks like it.
Looks like a yummy salad.
What's that?
It looks like a yummy salad.
They're so good. The only problem is Jess makes them, and she makes them too big. And I don't know how she eats them because I got a bigger appetite.
I think
I'll get three-quarters through the salad and be like, I don't think I can do this. It hurts.
I think I can eat vegetables different than you can eat vegetables. I could eat infantry salad.
What's in the salad, actually?
Arugula, spinach, orange pepper, tomato, celery, cucumber, feta cheese, olive oil, and oregano.
Yummy.
And chicken.
I had a Bite Me meal. It's from a company called Bite Me. They make healthy salads. They had ahi tuna in it. It had feta, ahi tuna, corn, peas, salad, beans, lentils. It was really good.
Oh, that sounds good. Hold on, so there's cooking.
What's happening?
Jack likes to put the numbers.
Okay, kid.
Okay.
Oh, I like that. That's cool. Great
Very
elevation.
Thanks, Theo. I need a better camera setup.
I promised to send you a camera and I haven't done it yet. It's in my box near the door, though. It's actually in the box of stuff I have for emergency care.
You guys make lists?
Lists? I make lists. Rich, do you make lists?
Sort of
In your head?
bucket list.
Yeah, that's true.
I am a strong proponent of lists.
Writing more lists, like trying to categorize our record collection and then trying to, whoa, that was really cool. The green. Whoa. Oh, the red's cool. Oh, the whoa.
What's up? Where's your
No, I'm just looking at the colors. I like that you're changing. Does that make you to start singing?
Yeah.
We were listening to this Donovan album this weekend, like on repeat forever. It was so good. If I could play guitar, I would want to learn this song. Sun, the earth is turning, it's turning round, and love is the axis, and they chop the tree down. Well, the proud trees are standing, as green as the sky, as green as the green stone that makes seabirds fly. All the proud trees are standing, they're as tall as the sky, as green as the green stone that makes seabirds fly. Ovens are baking and the rivers run dry as the ocean on the wings of a fly. So go if you're able, and come if you can. Life's very unstable if it's built upon sand. Well, Marianne set the table, an old friend I see. Marianne, fetch the paper, there's 2 for tea. Sun, the earth is turning, it's turning round, and love is the axis, and they chop the tree down. All the proud trees are standing, they're as green as the sky, as green as the green stone that makes seabirds fly. So go if you're able, and come if you can. Life's very unstable if it's built upon sand.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
And that's
Thank you everyone for joining us.